Hey everyone, welcome to Old Iron Garage. Thank you for tuning in. So tonight on the bench I have the McCulloch pancake generator with the 3-horse Briggs & Stratton engine that had water in it. So yeah, I'm literally picking up right where I left off with that. If you have not seen part 1, go watch part 1 and then come back here for part 2. All right, let's dive in right where we left off. So where we left off, we're trying to figure out why we don't have any spark. I mean, it's possible that we have a bad condenser, but that's usually not the case. Usually it's dirty points or points need to be gapped, something along those lines. So I cleaned the points up with a points file, but now I'm going to go in there with some sandpaper. I'm going to wrap that around the file and go in there and go at it a little bit more aggressively with the sandpaper. Come on now. So let's take a look. That looks better. I believe it's supposed to be, what, 20 thousandths? The points gap on a 3-horse Briggs. Seems like it's just a tad too much gap. Close that gap up just a tiny bit. Alright, that feels pretty good. That feels like about a 20 thousandth gap. So let's take a look at some wires, see if that could be an issue. These all look good. These wires all look good. So, let's put this back together. And hope that we have spark. The air gap between the coil and the flywheel is good. It's just about the right amount, not too little, not too much. All right, now let's check for spark. Nothing. Well, daggone it. Well, shoot. There is the chance a spark plug could be bad, but I kind of doubt it. I'm going to brainstorm a little bit, and then I will bring you guys back. Hey everyone, it is now the next day. I decided to call it a night, and because it was getting pretty late, and yeah, I decided to call it a night and come out and try again today. So yeah, I am getting ready to start on it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the flywheel and the points cover back off, and I'm going to take the points off, and I'm going to sand them real hard on some sandpaper until they are clean, until they are fresh metal surfaces. And I'm going to try again and see if we get spark. If at that point, if we do not get spark, I've also got a another spark plug, a brand new spark plug. Yeah, you can see, brand new, never used. And I'm going to see if it'll get spark with this. And if not, then I am going to go check my part stash to see if I have a new points and condenser kit for this engine. And then see if we can get spark with that. All right, so let's dive in. Sometimes with these old points and condenser engines, it can get really frustrating trying to get them to get spark. It can be kind of finicky. I did, off camera, clean this thing up. If it looks a little bit cleaner, that's why. It's not clean, but it is much cleaner than it was before. So that is a plus. Give it a nice tap. I also took a little bit of time to clean up the bench and organize the bench a little bit. And I also went in search of some parts we're going to need to replace. I did not search for a points and condenser kit yet, but I searched for some other parts and found some of the other parts that we are going to need, which we will go over that a bit later. You know, there is the possibility that this coil has gone bad. I could try a coil from another engine. That's always a possibility. Oh, shoot. I should have, while the condenser was still clamped down, I should have removed these wires from it. There we go. Ooh, don't lose that spring. It has gone up my sleeve. I see that there's some corrosion, some heavy corrosion around the condenser. Does the outside of this need to be grounded? Does that need to have a good ground? I don't know. So I'm going to clean that up. I'm going to clean that up. Maybe that's our issue. I'm not 100% sure on how a condenser really works. I just know that they need to work. So yeah, I mean, I would assume maybe that needs to have a good ground. So I'm going to try, just take a moment, do some sanding. Clean this up to ensure, or just to rule that out, basically. If I'm unsure on something, I'll do it just to rule it out. If I don't think that it'll harm anything, I'll do it just to rule it out. Alright, so now I'm going to do a little sanding. I should have specified I'm going to do a little sanding on the points where it makes contact. We'll do a little more around the outside. Okay, that should be good now. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. Now I'm going to pull this other point off. Do a little sanding on that. I usually prefer a ignition points file over sandpaper. Sandpaper can leave a little bit of debris on there, where a points file is less likely to do that. What I mean by debris is, like, with sandpaper, you run the risk of leaving like grit from the sandpaper itself on the points, which can make the points dirty, essentially. They'll act like they're dirty and they need cleaned. So if you use sandpaper, make sure to give them a good wipe down, or spray them with brake clean or something before putting them back in. That is clean. Now, there's absolutely no reason why this should not spark for lack of contact between the points. I'm going to clean this up where the condenser sits. There's a lot of rust there from the condenser rusting. And I'm going to give that another bath with some brake clean. It's still kind of dirty in there. Okay. Come here, you. Now we're going to reinstall the points. Oh, come on. Come on. Get on there. There we go. Come on, get in the hole. Get in the hole. There we go. Now it's sitting like it should. So now we just need to get the wires back on the condenser. I don't know how I'm going to do this. This is going to be tricky. Try and do this without shooting the spring off into oblivion. There we go. Wires are back on. Hey, look at it. I still need to clean up this clamp that holds the condenser on. I don't think that'll hurt anything. Like I said, I don't know truly how a condenser works, if the outside needs to be grounded, but by cleaning this up, this will give it another point to be grounded. So this will rule that out, it not being grounded. Alright. My points gap adjustment tool. Perfect. Sounds like my lovely wife has just arrived home from work. So she doesn't know I'm recording right now, so we might get an interruption. Possibly. Oy. I'm just going to take a little time, clean up the inside of here. There's a lot of dirt and crap in here. Good enough. Spray it out. I'm going to speed this up a little bit. I'm going to wipe it out. There we go. All good. Ready to install. Forgot to adjust the camera. Sorry about that. I'm sure you guys would rather see this than my ugly mug. This is much more interesting. Alright. Well, let's give this one more go before we start swapping parts out. Hi.
Hi.
You're on YouTube.
Can you pause it?
Say hi.
Hi.
Alright, everyone, we are back. I'm going to get this snugged down. I'm not going to tighten it all the way because we still need to find a washer to put it behind there. I just need it tight enough to work to see if we have spark. Oh! I forgot something. That has to come back off. That needs to come back off. Last night, while I was messing with this, the cover popped open and the balls fell out. So I need to put the balls in here for it to work. Hey. Come on. Okay. I need a little bit finer point screwdriver. There we are. Come on. 1, 2. 3, 4. Oh, there it is. 5, 6. getting later in the evening, sun's going down, and I can tell it is starting to, the temp is already starting to drop. It's getting chilly in here. It's supposed to get really cold this week. I think it's supposed to get down to like 14. That's cold for here. I mean, it's not uncommon for in the wintertime here in northern Indiana for it to dip down into the teens or single digits, or even down into the negatives, but I mean, I don't care where you are, that's just cold. 14 degrees is cold. I don't like the cold. Don't like it. I want to stay warm. Alright, so let's try this again. Yeah, without those balls in there, the recoil will not work. You won't be able to spin over the engine with the recoil. Oop, I'll just throw it. Why don't you? Okay. Alrighty, let's give it a try. Nothing. It's getting frustrating. Let's try a different spark plug. Nothing. Okay, so at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and determine that something in the ignition system is bad. Either the condenser or the coil, because the wires look good. I didn't see any wires that looked like they might be shorting out, so I'm just going to go ahead and conclude that either the coil or the condenser is bad. So I'm going to try a different one. That's going to require some digging around. I don't know when I'll be back, so I am going to go ahead and cut the video here, and I'll bring you back in a bit. Alright everyone, so here we have a parts engine, about basically the same engine, 3-horse Briggs, horizontal shaft, that I went and pulled off the shelf of engines. And we're going to throw the recoil cover on and a spark plug and see if this makes spark. If it doesn't, we're going to see if we can make this make spark. And we're going to then rob part. If we do, we'll rob parts from this to make that engine get spark. So we have a spark plug. Now we need a recoil. We have spark. Though it is weak, it is not like white and blue, it is orange and yellow. What the? We do have a weak spark is still a spark. So, yay, we have spark. So I'm going to move some parts around over here. Free up a little bit of space. I want to see if it will spark with the spark plug that was in that engine, which is a CJ8, which I believe is what, a typically used for 2-cycle. So I guess I need to put this back on. Hey, it makes strong spark with that one. Come on. Oh yeah, you can hear it snap even. Let's see if you guys can see it. See if I can do this so you guys can see it. You're going to be... I wonder if I can zoom in. I'll be looking right here. Let me try to zoom in, see if that... Will it zoom? No, I don't think I can get it to zoom. Alright, well, you'll be looking right here, guys. Come on. Did we lose it? Did we lose spark? Really? Did we just really lose spark? No, it's sparking. Well, anyway, I don't know if you got to see it or not, but it does. It does spark. Alrighty. I guess I didn't finish moving parts over. So, I'm going to tear into this engine and pull some parts off. And when I do that, I should be able to get my washer from here too. Just grab a second 1/4-inch screwdriver, socket, so I can put one on the screwdriver handle. I'm going to put these little screws back in though, so it keeps that little cover on to keep the little check balls in place. All right, now I gotta knock this thing loose. What? Come on. Fine. Ouch! I just whacked my hand. Oh, this is pissing me off. I hate it when they're stubborn and they don't want to come. Like, it's turning. It's turned quite a bit. It's just not really loosening up to where it'll just spin off. Words I can't say on YouTube. There. That was something I can't say on YouTube. There. One good washer for that engine to replace the one that was all cracked up and busted up, broken. Alrighty. So I'm just going to do like the last one. There it is. I'm pretty sure it popped on the first one. I think I felt it move on the first whack. Come on. There. I don't need this either. No, I should have left that bolted up, I guess. I'll put one back in. Partially. Oh, jeez. Man, somebody glue this one on. Get off of there. I'm running out of patience. Yeah, glued on. Excessively. They do put a little bit of sealant in there from the factory, but that was excessive. What I mean by that is there's like a much larger amount than normal of that glue in here that I'm looking at. Let's set that over here. And this one. All right, and there is our entire ignition system. We're just going to put that whole thing onto this engine. I'm not going to bother messing with that one, trying to figure out, is it the condenser, is it the coil? It doesn't matter. I'm just going to put that whole thing on there. All right. I'm just going to set this down to the side. I might reassemble those parts back onto there later so it's all in one piece, but I'm not going to right now. I'll do that off camera. Excuse me. I'm going to take a look at these, and okay, the points could use a little cleaning up. So I am going to go ahead, since I got them off anyways, I'm going to go ahead and clean them up. A little greasy, I'll wipe them off before I do anything. Let's see, aha, here's my fresh piece of sandpaper. A little bit more. Take the spring off of this point, and those could use some cleaning up too. They're a little burnt. Surprised it even made spark still. Man, this one's a little more burnt than I thought it was. I might end up using the other one that's currently in the engine instead of this one. Yeah. We'll have to sand this one down pretty far to use it. We'll sand her down a little further and see what she looks like. Well, getting there. Okay, I've been sanding on that for a while, and it's still got a burn spot in the middle of it. A dark spot. I know the image is a little fuzzy, but I'm going to throw this in a box of used parts, and if I'm ever desperate enough, I'll continue sanding on that and use it. But the one in there cleaned up nice, so I'm just going to use that one. So let's get these wires back into this condenser. Oh, it slipped. A little further. There we are. So that's good to go. Do a little cleanup on here. Okay. So, I'm going to set this over here. And I'm going to bring this engine back forward. Knock that off. Open this up for what I hope is the last time. Now, since we're taking the coil off too this time, we also have to set the air gap between the coil and the magnet on the flywheel. Oh wait, no, we're not taking that. We're leaving that one point there. We're taking the condenser and the coil. That loose. We are going to have to swap out this one wire though. So I guess we do have to pull the wires off of there. This wire has to stay. This kill wire here has to stay because it runs over to another spot on the other side. Alrighty, let's go ahead and let's just go ahead and take this condenser here back off of these wires, because like I said, the one wire has to get swapped out anyways. I wasn't thinking about that earlier when I put these wires back in here. So now we'll remove this kill wire, set that to the side. I'm going to go ahead and give this wire that goes down to the points an inspection, and it looks good. So we're going to throw it on there. Oh, would probably help to remove the old coil first. Now, one thing I am going to need off of here is this air deflector, air vane thing. That is specific to this engine. So this coil can get set aside with the other ignition parts that we are not using. This air vane can go on our good used replacement coil. And this coil can go ahead and get bolted up. Now, when I tighten this, I'm going to do it with the coil and all the way up. You know, it's adjustable up and down so you can set your air gap. I'm going to do it with it all the way up so I know that we are not rubbing the flywheel. I'm just going to snug them a little bit so that the magnet on the flywheel doesn't pull it down. Okay, so now we are going to put our wires onto this condenser and put it on the engine. We're going to join our wires together, just give them a little bit of a twist so they stay together. There we go. That'll make them easier to feed in to the coil. See if I can do this without this spring going flying off into oblivion. Come on now. What did I say about flying off into oblivion? Well, we have another spring. So we have a second shot at this. I just hope we don't lose this one. I gotta go searching for another. Come on, get in there. Get in there. Oh. Almost. You gotta go further in. There. Got it. Got her. All right. Now I put the bracket on that holds the condenser and the screw that holds the bracket. I'm trying to eyeball a 20 thousandths gap. When I was a kid and I was doing this, I used to never use a feeler gauge. I used to never actually check the gap. I'd always just eyeball it and I'd get it right. It's really not that hard once you know what it's supposed to look like. But I had a very keen I had a very keen eye chrometer. Very precise eye chrometer. Oh, I'm close. It's probably like 18 thousandths right now. All right. Now we're going to snug that up. So it cannot move. We're going to put this points cover on, hopefully for the last time. If we put this together on this engine and it sparked on the other engine, it does not spark on this engine, I'm going to be rather upset. Right. Oh, it turned on me. Okay. Now we have our replacement washer that goes on next. And hang on a sec. Oof. The recoil clutch. All right, should be good and tight. Now, before I put that screen on, the screen that goes on here, I'm going to just slide the recoil cover on in place and see if we have spark. If we do not have spark, I am going to be rather upset. Why? Well, oh, silly me. I know why we don't have spark. I didn't set the air gap on the coil. So, anyways, it has come to my attention that this video is running on pretty long. So we are going to cut it here, and we will come back for a part 3 on this on this project. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video this far, and if you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one. All right, bye.